So, when we're standing up for what we believe in, the most effective way to get your point across is by removing the hate out of the situation, removing the hatred. You can be angry, you have every right to be angry, but you gotta remember that the people that you're fighting against are still people. And they also have souls and feelings. So, although the tourism industry can cause damage and create really big problems for the ecosystem and society around it, due to wanting to exploit the land for money, whatever, it's valid to get upset about that. But you have to remember that what you are going up against is way bigger than just you or him or her or they. When you are fighting an entire system that has been implemented and placed or forced upon people, the best way to promote positive change is to show that you understand both sides and to educate people in the community. Because if you can't change one CEO, one president, one government official, one doctor, one store clerk, you can't change their mind, then can you blame them for not wanting to leave behind what has guided them to be as successful as they are, even if they were chasing after money? See, the more community you have, the more positive change or love can spread. If you are targeting members within the community rather than educating them and welcoming them in with all of their imperfections, with their biases, with their perspectives, you are creating more of the enemy. Some random tourist on the side of the road that's riding their bike. It's not their fault that people want to put up bicycling rentals and shit, like, and have them ride bikes on roads that honestly really need repairs, and aren't always big enough for a bicyclist and a car. I understand wanting to ride your bike in a really beautiful area on an old little road. And so if we focus on that the problem is bigger than just this person and that they're just trying to enjoy and live their life, it changes the way that it impacts your peace. You think that calling someone a dumb, stupid haole and treating them rude or whatever isn't gonna make an impact later? When I was in Arizona, when I first got my head injury, the neurologist I went to, the first thing he asked for was my ID, and when he saw it, he saw that it was from Hawaii. Oh, so you're from Hawaii? Oh, so I'm just a stupid haole then. Continued to get really poor treatment, and poor is an understatement. if you know me good, you know the details of what I've been through. And I'm just wondering that if maybe we had treated this man, who may or may not have been the best person in the world outside of work, in his work, whatever, but he obviously went to school, became educated and licensed, and is successful in running his own practice. Do you think that maybe if when he had visited the Hawaiian Islands and the local people treated him as if he was welcome rather than shunning him, do you think he would have rather have been educated regardless if his ego blew up or not in the moment, because the information we share is digestible and it may take days or years for people to finally understand the message mixed with the divine timing and such? Do you think that if, when he had come to Hawaii, he had experienced a culture like no other, where everyone had each other's backs and stood up for each other and shared the facts, do you think that maybe that would have affected the type of treatment that I had? And it's funny because you could say, well, he is the prime example. He's the prime example of what we mean. But how do you think people get that way? It's what they're taught, it's what they're instilled. People are still people, whether you think they're stupid or smart or worthless or whatever. They are still people. Even when people do nasty shit to you, betray you, whatever, it's not like you've never been in that situation where you've done something out of anger or jealousy or rage or whatever, okay? Like, you are not perfect, and neither are they. And so instead of pointing out the imperfections in every single community, if we just focus on the fact that there is pain and suffering, there is compromise available while looking into those things, and that we have a lot more in common than you think. Nothing is ever going to go back to the way it used to be. And that is a good thing. It's about merging, it's about finding balance, because everyone needs different things. And so please just be very mindful about how you talk about your community, the people that you might meet one day. Insulting someone's intellect or character doesn't get you to the point. It's about dissecting the psyches, the communications, the words, the feelings, to really boil down and find a solution that could work for almost everybody, which is nearly impossible because everyone's situation is unique. But if everyone's situation is unique, then why is our society based in categories? And you know, I've faced and seen a lot of medical abuse, not just on the patient side, but on the caregiver side as well. And if you stay mad at that, if you stay blaming the small people, if you don't expand your vision to be compassionate, to touch the hearts of all individuals that were affected, that played parts in both sides, then what are you doing? You're just holding on to that anger. And then that anger is just reflected back to you. If you want to rejoice over somebody getting shot in the head or murdered because of the injustice of the system that enables it as a whole, which is controlled by society, which is us, you need to make sure that it's because you are grateful that they are not suffering anymore. Because suffering promotes more suffering. Greed births more greed. That doesn't mean you can't be upset or angry with the things that have happened to you that are super valid and upset you and hurt you. I'm not saying you can't talk about the specifics of those situations. But for your own sake, for your own peace, if there's a story repeating over and over in your head, it's important to rewrite it and look at new perspectives within it, new things that could blossom from it, or you stay stuck. And that everybody deserves love, destiny, closing out old cycles, recycling the past energy into something new, fresh, more beneficial to you, dream, eliminating what no longer serves, and aligning with new intentions, because we don't want to completely forget the past. I say as I almost forgot what I was going to say. We don't want to completely forget the past or the things that have happened, the mistakes we've made, the mistakes other people have made. This is a lot of cards. Because it truly does help make us who we are.